Okay. Hi there, my name is Kevin Cole, and today I'll be presenting on the Landmark Forum and my decision making with the Student Conduct Code. So, speaking on the impact of the Landmark Forum. First off, I'm the happiest that I've ever been. By using their ideologies and their ways of thinking, I've very much improved my overall happiness. My depression is far, far decreased. My anxiety is far better than it used to be, and my life as a whole is just a lot more rich. And I'm able to have much better decision making because, once again, using the ideologies, there's certain things that they let you do in your brain that let you slow down and really think about what you're doing in terms of how is that going to react to everyone else around you, what is it going to do for you in the long run, and just overall, is it a good decision for you? And like I said, it really lets me slow down and think. Because, for example, one of the things we learned was if you could imagine two different circles, one saying what actually happened and one saying your story. So what actually happened is far different than what usually people's stories are. And people like to build up stories in their head and make things a lot more important or less important than they are, which really causes a lot of problems. So by going through this, it's really helped me to slow down, focus, and make the right decisions in my life. And like I said again, it really is helping me reason in my head. Growing up, I've always been an impulsive person, and by using these, I'm able to channel that and use it productively when needed and block out the negative aspects of that. So, a quote from the National Drug Association states, "Marijuana is addictive. About 1 in 6 people who start using as a teen and 25 to 50% of those who use it every day become addicted to marijuana." So I was very naive about this. I really was never educated on that fact. And after knowing that, first off, I will reduce my marijuana use very largely. But more than that, I realize now just how much of a mistake it really was to smoke in the dorms, let alone even the decision to bring my substance onto campus. So here, really quickly, I'm going to show you a quick video of how the Landmark Forum works.
Just 3 days and an evening, you can alter what's possible for you and your life. The technology of the Landmark Forum allows for extraordinary breakthroughs in a very short period of time. You can bring about a positive and permanent shift in the quality of your life. The Landmark method is more like coaching than teaching, more like conversation than lecture. While conventional education methods focus on content, adding facts, rules, or skills, the Landmark method deals with context, the framework in which content exists. Wherever we're limited in life, whether it's a fear of moving forward or a lack of confidence, there is something we're blind to that's holding that limitation in place. Landmark's technology allows you to uncover and examine blind spots that limit what's really possible in certain areas of your life. You can find out how they got there and address them for what they really are. You'll find the constraints of the past disappeared, and the change is immediate, dramatic, and without effort. It is a breakthrough. Now, let's take a look inside the Landmark Forum.
Perfect. So, as you guys saw in that video, the Landmark Forum really is completely transformational. It has really helped me, and I've immediately implemented what I've learned. For example, when I did get written up, I was completely honest, completely compliant, and was as willing to help and make the jobs easier of the resident advisors as I possibly could. So what I'm currently doing with my life is I'm enrolling others. And what we learned in the forum was enrolling means simply sharing what we've learned with other people to improve and better their lives. And by doing that, I've been very successful in spreading happiness, and at the same time actually making myself happier. So this forum as a whole has really helped not only me, but the people in my community that surround me. I'm also making far better decisions because now that I'm able to think back on what I was doing, I'm much more inclined to slow down and be like, hey, this might not be the right decision, so this is what I'm going to go ahead and do. And lastly, I'm living with much more integrity. And integrity is something that's been very powerful in my life that I've not really lived up to. And what I mean by that is if I say something, I will do it. And in terms of the conduct process, I will say right now, I will never bring a substance onto campus or anywhere around campus, parking lots, whatever that may be. I will never bring that onto campus again. I will never partake in illicit acts on campus. Because now that I've learned that that's a very negative influence for me and that to live my life positively, I have to cut those out. And I skipped one purposely because by slowing down and thinking more, really all of these are able to be fulfilled. Because I'm able to really accomplish what I'm doing at that moment rather than going 100 miles an hour and not necessarily being totally aware of what the situation is. So in the future, I will continue to enroll people. I will continue spreading what I've learned. I will continue enriching people's lives, and I will continue empowering myself while doing that at the same time. I also hope to get a leadership role with Landmark because they have a seminar that's offered afterwards. It's very extensive. It's a 7-month forum, and it's a leadership forum where I would then be one of the people that is also teaching the Landmark Forum. And this is one of the most specialized forms of training anyone would really ever receive. It's, like I said, 7 months long. You go in twice, 3 times a week. You get coaching of conference calls. You enroll others. You lead leadership experiences. You run introductions for the Landmark Forum, which is one of the biggest things I would like to do. And more importantly, it just will give me much more of a sense of direction in my life because as of now, I'm not really sure where I'm going. And I will also to keep improving my decisions. So I was smoking quite a bit of marijuana in the past year, and I was not completely honest with my family. I told them I was only doing it on the weekends, when in fact it was almost every day. And now that will not happen anymore. And now that I'm full with integrity, I can stand behind that and really, really mean it. And not only will I stop doing that often, I will also make sure that if I'm ever in situations where I could potentially be at fault, or where I could potentially be in a situation where someone is doing something in a room that on campus that is illicit, I will make sure I remove myself from the situation, deal with the situation, and then have no part of it anymore. Because if I'm not partaking in it, that's just a totally negative situation for me. I'm not learning anything from that other than potentially getting in trouble. And by sitting in there and not doing anything about it, I am also at fault. Because being a bystander to a situation that is not approved by Chapman Student Conduct and not saying anything, I am also doing something wrong, which will not happen again. And lastly, I just wanted to share just how amazing the forum really is. So, the Landmark Forum is a very private experience. We are not allowed to disclose information of who and what was said during the Landmark Forum, but it's really amazing how much it can change people's lives. For me personally, I walked into this situation really not knowing what I was going to expect. I didn't think I really would get anything. I was very unaware of the fact that it really was going to change my life. And one of the biggest things I realized in the Landmark Forum, which is what they call aha moments, when you have a little realization, is that my entire life I've been making certain decisions as a way of hiding from my responsibilities. And now that I'm at the age where I need to be taking responsibility for my life, and that I need to be taking the right steps, I am very, very thankful that I went through this training because now I have the correct tools to go through with that. And additionally, something that is really helping me, that is also helping you guys in terms of me learning and no longer making mistakes, is I am now in 10 more sessions of a seminar. It comes as a scholarship of every Wednesday for the next 10 weeks after the seminar. And in that seminar, we were gave the opportunity to assume a leadership role, where I was very inclined and was lucky enough to be chosen. So now, for the next 10 weeks, I am personally responsible for looking over 5 different people, calling them, having conference calls every Thursday at 6 p.m. for 45 minutes, checking in and coaching people on what they can improve and what they think is going well for them. And it is such an amazingly empowering experience, because not only am I really helping other people, I am helping myself. Because with whatever stories people say or whatever situations people are in, you can really gain something from every situation. And this series of forums is called Integrity, the Bottom Line, which, like I stated earlier in my presentation, is something I'm very now more passionate about than normal, or than I used to be, because I realize just how important it really is. Because without integrity, there's no trust behind my word. No one has any idea if what I say is actually going to happen, and it's also just a very unhealthy experience. And this summer, taking another step forward in this for my own progression of my life and for others, I'm taking the advanced form. And the advanced form is where you can bring your actions to life with velocity. And I had a realization that I've always been afraid to be successful as a result of my dad's success. I live in Manhattan Beach, California. I have a beautiful house. We have no money problems, and we've traveled all around the world. And as I'm very thankful for that, I also realize at the same time that it's not easy to get to this point of success. So I've always been nervous to really pursue that.